Lay back, relax, enjoy it all. Saturday night, it's time to say no more. S&M with Tally and KRC. Come pleasure or pain, welcome to the stream.
Hey everyone, welcome to S&M. I'm Eve, this is Tally.
Hi.
And with us today we have our special guest, Race.
Hello.
As you might can guess by the title, I did the when Silver and Platinum won't do Golden Age radio reference. For those of you who know that, this other show that we do with Race over on Wednesday nights, but...
I disagree, however. Platinum always will do.
Of course you disagree.
You notice how the thing glow when the light shines up because it has a rainbow kind of look to it? That's because Platinum tries to be everything and therefore is good at nothing, Tally.
I disagree.
Shots fired. I'm just gonna...
I disagree. Very much so.
Just gonna...
How dare you?
I've been joined by a Twitch
kiss
thought.
On the hand may be quite continental, but diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Well, yeah, but diamonds are, yeah. My rage will come out. Naneka says, my rage will come out. Let's see what we got in chat. Hi, Rick. It could have been one golden age of S&M. Oh, hi, Naneka. Hi, Eve. Hello, Race, who's here with us. Hi, Skull.
Hi, Scully.
That's all the people have talked in chat so far. Surprised that we don't have more people here at the moment, because usually there's a lot more people that regularly watch us, but,
It's still early days.
It's still early.
Yeah. It is. Like, usually we've got, Mustafa, Pat, and Sam.
And usually Jacob stopped by at some point. Said hello.
Oh, there's Joe Lander.
Supposedly, I'm supposed to know what's going on about things. According to Netica, I know none of the things. I need explains. I need the explains.
And here's the happy. Haha, I got it both. Haha, haha, haha.
Yeah.
Haha, haha.
You need an IQ above single digits to know what's going on.
Oh, shots fired. This could be the whole show. You and Ray sniping at each other.
Wait, what does that mean?
if-
Where's your IQ
hey.
then? Because I at least know that Platinum is mediocre. Okay, I at least understand that.
It's beautiful. That's the whole point.
Yolander says, I am a lot more people. Hi, Yolander.
It's beautiful, like Tess Holiday.
Hi, Snow.
I prefer white gold anyway.
Look.
That's basically just basic bitch silver.
That's not. Silver is basic bitch. It's more valuable, but it's pretty.
What's going on now?
I'm a girl. What do you want from me? We're like magpies. We're attracted to shiny things. I'm not wrong though, am I?
I'm just letting this play out, cause...
Hey Eve, you have to admit, I'm not wrong. Girls are attracted to shiny things.
Girls are shiny things.
Kind of like Tally right now.
No, I was gonna say, so it's driving me absolutely bonkers that there's a black line like right over there on Race's side of the screen, but it totally...
It's a doorway.
Yeah, it's a doorway. But I can't see this doorway, so it looks like my S&M symbol is uneven, and there's a gap between our windows.
Oh,
Shut the door, Race.
It's not a door. There's no door there. It's a hallway.
Here,
let me do this.
It's fine. It's fine. Well, that works too.
Movie magic.
There
Voila.
we go. Just move the camera angle a little bit. Eve says, yes, Tally, I love sparkly stuff. That's why we're just going to cover you,
like,
bathe you in
let's
glitter and go to
face it,
town.
diamonds have very little use, but they're pretty.
They can be
And saying
sharpened
that
into
diamond
spears.
drills are a thing.
Yeah, diamonds have lots of
Di-
uses. They're
dim-
very hard material. And
diamonds are diamonds, like diamond tip tools are
About
a
as
thing.
hard as far as hard as Hugh Hefner after a couple of magic pills.
Why'd you go there?
you need a butt whipping race.
Oh, I don't.
In saying that, if anyone could handle quarantine, it's him. I mean, let's face it, he spent like what, 50 years in his house, like shut away from the world, and
he's
I'm a
dead.
he's
time
perfectly happy.
traveler. I'm a time traveler from the future.
Talita, darling,
40
he's
or
dead.
50 years. 29.
Oh, I know he's dead.
Oh, you're talking
But
about
he's
Hugh.
still,
Okay, I thought you were talking about me.
let's face it, if he was still alive, he would have handled the quarantine a lot better than most people.
Yeah.
Yeah, must be such a downer to be surrounded by like 24 hot bitches with huge titties.
I know, right? Well, that said, I mean, we talk about it like, oh, yeah, it must have been so great being quarantined with a bunch of hot chicks. Yeah, who are all after your money and don't really care about you because you're just an old fart, so... I don't know.
But
He was married how many times?
He's got a staff. He's fine.
From what I can tell, most of the bunnies that lived with him, like they appreciated him.
Yeah.
He was a sugar daddy. Kind of hard to not appreciate someone who gives you a home
You're not
and
wrong.
money for free.
You're not wrong. Yeah. This is true.
But there's a difference between appreciation and love.
Yes.
Because I can say, Race, I appreciate you.
Well, thank you.
Because you can do one of those, and you can do the appreciation without love. But to
Yeah,
love
you can.
someone, you have to appreciate them too. So.
Yeah.
Q was also a really
You're
nice
not
guy,
wrong.
says Yolanda. Yeah. Hi, Mustafa. I have puppies that are wanting greedily for my attention at the moment. Like this, Lucy's asleep on my leg here. She's trying to lay down and go to sleep. Happy's over here just begging for pets.
Yeah, you see, your dogs are basically like the Playboy bunnies. Say they appreciate you because you feed them, and you keep them out of the rain.
The difference between dogs and Playboy bunnies is dogs are loyal.
Jeez, fuck.
I'm not wrong though.
My homegirl got a point. Like, hot damn. So that makes Eve a pimp? Yep, I'm a pimp.
If I had the thing where I could play audio through the call, I would just queue up "I'm a Player" by Tech Nine.
Please
I'm a
don't.
player.
I'd rather not get copyright struck. Thanks.
I
Okay,
don't have
thanks.
that power. I am not one of them whiz kids.
Even if you could, I'd rather you didn't.
Well, in saying that, you can play less than 30 seconds of a clip without being
No,
copyright
you
claimed.
cannot.
It's got to be
No,
like
it's not.
5 seconds at most.
No. If it is in any way recognizable, they can copyright strike it. See, that argument actually came from the fact that a Vine, it was a 6-second Vine that was done with a Prince song.
This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
Something like that. It was a Prince song, and they'd done a Vine on back when Vine was still a thing, of like a 6-second clip of this baby dancing to the Prince song, and when that Vine was put out, Prince had them copyright striked and had it taken down. Well, they went to court, they argued it, blah blah blah, because the clip had gone viral at that point.
If anything, it would have brought more attention to that Prince song.
Right, but Prince is very particular about his copyright, or at least he was, So they argued back and forth for years as to whether or not it was more on the principle of it rather than the actual clip itself of like how much is too much, when does it become copyright violation. And they pretty much, I think, sided with Prince in the sense that that 6 seconds, that 6-second Vine could be considered copyright infringement. The problem is people can use that as an argument. It's like, oh, well, you can use up to 6 seconds of a song before it becomes No, you can't. If they can tell it enough to be able to tell that's the song that you're using, they can copyright strike you. And they can put a copyright claim in. So it's best if you, that's why I try to use all original music when everything I've done, like even in my, when I was streaming Vampire the Masquerade on YouTube, I tried to make sure that I was, I actually had some of the club music was licensed music. So I had Mustafa make me a song that I could use that would play in the clubs when I would go into the clubs, and replaced all the song titles with that song, so it played that tune instead of the licensed music, because wasn't going to have any more copyright claims on my videos.
Yeah.
Look at this little hoe.
Fair enough.
She just splayed out across my lap, getting pets.
So I have sweet tea.
Yolanda says, yeah, TikTok exists. Yeah. I'm not sure how they get around it, but who is Prince? You mean the artist formerly known as Prince? Yes.
Yeah.
He died known as Prince. What was the one that NECA said? Yes, Eve is the biggest pimp besides myself. Yep.
Oh. So, how's everyone's week been?
Yeah, it's been all right. It's been all right.
I finally got my Rona check. It only took the IRS 3 fucking weeks, but they got around to it. They finally figured out where I live.
Well, it's not their
It'd
fault
be
you don't
nice
follow
if
your
I got one
taxes.
of those checks.
Huh? It's my fault.
I'd
What?
quite like one of those checks.
Did they not give y'all any kind of stimulus over there in the UK? That's hilarious to me. Is because we get scolded for not doing anything over here, but the UK doesn't do anything, and they just kind of.
Yeah.
Hi, Pat.
I'd get plenty if I wasn't actually a British citizen.
Oh, would you now?
Oh yeah.
That, to me, is hilarious.
Yeah, our government cares more about other people than British citizens. It's just not right.
It's not right.
No, it's really not. So what's happened with you this week, Eve?
Not much, honestly. Did my thing, worked, streamed, ripped and teared last night on Doom. Rip and tear.
I missed that.
Yeah, you did. You don't come hang out with us
Thinking
anymore.
about saying it.
What?
Thinking about saying it again. Ooh and yif until it is done, Doomchan.
I have a thing for that.
Oh god, no.
It's actually Isabelle from Animal Crossing, but she like got thick thighs and boobs and stuff, but she's in like a Doom guy's suit and she's holding a chainsaw.
That sounds hilarious.
I did miss your stream yesterday, Pat.
I didn't. It was hilarious. That I'll tell you what, that porn star, she was high as fuck. So was her friend.
What porn star? Hang on. Rewind.
He's had like He's had like 2 porn
Yes,
stars on his show now.
yeah, he's been interviewing porn stars.
Did you go watch your boy Pat's live
What's
channel?
like, what angle's the interview coming at? Like, just the day in the life of a porn star, or what?
Well, it's safe for work, but apparently this girl, she does like fetish stuff, and they were talking about something called cunt busting. And I was sitting there like when
Oh no.
she first brought it up, like, what the fuck is cunt busting? And then she started talking about like bruised ovaries and how she got kicked and all that sort of thing. And I, like, the more she talked, the more I was like, oh no.
With that face when you can write off painkillers as a business expense.
And Patty says 3 technically. Anastasia Rose was there too. Yeah, okay. No, I mean, yeah, that sounds like no fun to me. Bruised ovaries. Ugh. Like, let's keep the bruises on the outside where we can see them, not in the inside where they just hurt
Well,
all the time.
apparently, all up around her ovaries was green. It was that bad.
Oh no. No. No.
There's more efficient and painless ways of not having children. Like, you don't have to go that far to make sure you don't have kids.
I know, right?
Yeah, like I have an issue with, see, the ones that get me are the ones that like want to put pain on sensitive organs like that, because those things are done the way they're done for a reason. You know, your ovaries need to stay protected, because if they're damaged, you could real seriously fuck up your reproductive system. Like,
Oh,
your
I
balls
have
need to be
no
protected.
doubt. I have no doubt that these people that do like all of these busting things, that like, there's no way any of them are gonna have kids.
Yeah, well, there's people who like, guys that like to have their balls clamped and
Oh yeah,
squeezed and pinched and
ball busting. Yeah,
I
Yeah,
that's a
remember
thing.
seeing a small clip of a porn where there was a board on the ceiling and there's a hole, and out of the hole was the nutsack, and then below there was this girl with fucking boxing gloves, and guess what she was doing?
diggity 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 diggity. Get it?
Why?
I am the
Because
tiger.
I will never understand this sort of thing.
it's just the bitch who likes
yeah,
bruises
so-
and whip marks.
permanent damage. I like to be a functioning human being afterwards. Thank you very much.
Well, it's like it was my thought on it. It was that, like, what's the point of putting permanent marks, because that just means they're already marked and you can't mark them again later when the marking.
Well,
So.
I don't want to be laid up in bed for a week afterwards.
I like leaving
like,
the marks, bite marks,
Unable,
claw marks, things like that.
unable to move.
You were
I don't wanna,
obsessed with your fashion tape there.
Yeah, it's not working for me. I've got to take it off.
You just down with the thickness over there, and it's not working. You have to be careful and pull your top up.
Yep.
As much as the audience would
Yeah.
love to see what's inside that shirt, inside that top, we can't allow that on stream, guys. Sorry. Go find
No, we
Tally's
can't.
Go convince Tally to make an OnlyFans, and then she'll.
I'm not gonna make an OnlyFans.
Get her on that
No.
Table Topless show on Plex Storm. She'd have all kinds of fun.
Oh God.
You know what? That does sound like fun, but no.
Speaking of D&D, Tally.
Yes.
So we were watching that show I told you about last night with my sister, because she wanted to watch, for her birthday, she wanted to get a bunch of people together and watch an anime that she liked. And the one that she
Yeah.
chose was called That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime.
Yeah.
And for those, I already told you about this, but for those who don't know, they OnlyFans to earn that stimulus check. Oh my God.
Hashtag Rona tits.
So they
Do you have any idea how saturated the market of ethos is at the moment?
You know how bored people are, and they're actually paying for it. Like, you don't make a hell of a
Yeah,
lot, but you'll make something.
yeah, but the problem is the market is saturated, and I don't want to.
I know. I keep making a joke about making an OnlyFans, but I'm not going to. Um,
I's a classy hoe, y'all.
yes, she comes on here and just flashes her cleavage like this, and then just like gives money for that much. No, you can't have more. Anywho, so this anime, dude gets stabbed like in the middle of the street trying to protect his this guy who looks up to him, called him senpai and everything, and basically kissed his ass and looked up to him and stuff. Dude just like standing there trying to like introduce him to his girlfriend, and he's like, hey, here's this girl
Well,
I've started seeing. We really
well,
like each other, blah blah blah. And
I feel like I need to say something. Like, senpai isn't a sex thing over in Japan.
no, it just means
In
upperclassmen,
Japan,
like
yes,
senior.
senpai just means someone that is above you.
Like I'm also a mentor
Yeah,
situation.
usually in a mentor
Yeah.
situation. Usually it's
Well, it
taken more
doesn't
that way.
necessarily have to mean that. Like, let's say you're at school. The person above, like in a year above you, if they were to help you with your classwork, they you, you would call them senpai.
Right.
It
Um.
basically just means someone that is a little bit above you.
And so he's in there talking to this dude, and this all of a sudden this dude starts running down the street with a knife out like this. I don't know why he's doing that, but he almost stabs the dude, but our main character gets in the way, shoves his little protege dude out of the way, so he can be with his girlfriend, and gets stabbed. He bleeds out in the concrete and dies in a pretty graphic manner. And then he wakes back up. When he actually comes to again, he's in the middle of a cave. It's dark. He doesn't see anything, nor can he seem to speak. He doesn't have a mouth or eyes. And he starts kind of feeling his way around and realizing that he can sense things, but he can't really see things. So he starts to realize that he has like this super intelligence for starters, basically like a voice in his head that he can ask questions that will tell him, anything he wants to know. Then he has like the ability to consume things and swallow them up and oh yeah, and by the way, he's a ball of goo. He's a slime. So he's just a little blue gel.
So it's the origin.
Spoiler, if the title wasn't a spoiler enough.
Right.
So basically, it's the origin story of Ivan Ooze. Yeah.
I don't know who Ivan Ooze is.
Oh, come on. The big purple gooey guy from the Power Rangers movie.
No.
I'll send you a fucking meme or something.
I probably won't want a meme. Okay, I'll look at a meme, but I won't watch a video. Anyway, so they get long story shortened. He gets into this. He starts exploring this cave, realizing that he can take like the medicinal herbs and turn them into potions and stuff like that. Learning that he can absorb magic crystal rock. He can basically just swallow anything. So he starts eating water, just absorbing it into his body. It doesn't really change his size or shape. It just is stored within like some kind of, for lack of a better way to describe it, his stomach, which is like a pocket dimension that he has. So
Sounds more like a magic void.
and he can analyze and replicate a lot of the products that he, whatever he absorbs. He can, if he fights a monster and takes on the monsters, he can absorb the monster's body and take on their form. Then there's So he's exploring through this cave, and he ends up accidentally bumping into something, and it's a. He thought it was stone at first, but it's not. But it's like a dragon. A dragon who, in exchange for in exchange for his promise not to run away immediately, gives him the ability to see. So it gives him sight, and he ends up talking with this dragon, and they become friends. And he's just like, well, you want to be friends? And the dragon is like super tsundere, for those of you who know what that is. And it's just all like, I didn't say I wanted to be friends. Like, and you're just like, he's like, dude, what the fuck are you, a tsundere or something? Just, all right, fine, jeez, and you don't have to be friends. It's like, I didn't say I didn't want to either. And he's like, what the fuck? Make up your goddamn mind. Stop it.
It sounds like me.
You can be very tsundere sometimes.
I know.
I'm not a huge anime person, but this was a really fun and funny anime. He ends up, because the dragon is imprisoned in some kind of like cage, and he's like, not in a cage, but like in a magical barrier of some kind. And he's like, well, I can't eat my way through this to free you. So what I'm going to do is, I'm pretty sure I have the ability to swallow the whole thing. And he's like, yeah, okay, do it. What the fuck? What kind of? I mean, I'm not losing out here.
I mean, I've got nothing else to lose.
Pretty
I've got nothing
much.
to lose. You might as well give it a go.
Pretty much. That was the thought process.
I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Right. Got nothing to lose. What am I going to do here? If I stay imprisoned here, he said, I won't make it another 100 years in here. My magic power will run out and I'll die. So if you think that by swallowing this thing whole, this imprisoned magic barrier that I have, if you swallow it whole and store it in your stomach, you can analyze it over time and figure it out, then okay, maybe we could find a way to break me out of here. But until then, you know, what's the worst that could happen? Well, by swallowing the dragon, I honestly think it amps up his magic power, honestly.
Wasn't he already OP as fuck, though?
Yeah, he already was kind of pretty OP, but on his own. He removes the dragon's influence from the surrounding area. So the forest surrounding the cave, people start to realize that there's not that energy, there's not that force there anymore. So other things start moving into the area and trying to take over. So it takes him like a month to find the exit to the cave. But he doesn't have to eat, doesn't have to sleep, so he just explores. Fights monsters and explores, gains all these different powers, and eventually finds a way out. Happens upon this little goblin village, and they're like, well, we need help. You know, we can obviously feel that you have this powerful aura. And he's like, fuck. You weren't supposed to be able to know that. Okay. Yeah, sure, I'll help you. Because since the dragon is gone, like I said, other things are moving in. In this particular case, a pack of dire wolves was attacking the goblin village. And
dire wolves are big.
They're big, and there's like 100 of them compared to like 60 of the goblins.
Well, dire wolves are like 4 times, if not bigger, the size of a regular wolf.
A goblin could ride a dire wolf as a horse. They're that big. So.
Oh yeah, they're huge.
He develops a way to help them fight off the dire wolves, and it actually ends up killing their leader. And I forget what exactly he does. But he basically makes the others submit.
A wolf would be an alpha.
Yeah, he kills their alpha, their leader, their head wolf, and ends up
alpha.
Yes. He ends up killing this guy, and takes over their pack pretty much, and brings them and the goblins together and says, okay, look, you all now work for me, and you're going to work together, and you're going to live in harmony. And so that's pretty much what it is. He ends up pairing them.
I'm going to come back and I'm going to eat all of you.
Well, that's what it is. He basically takes over the village. He pairs up the goblins with a dire wolf each. The goblins eventually start to learn how they can summon the dire wolves instantly. So the dire wolves Oh, that's what it was. Because the dire wolves and the goblins were like little kids almost. They looked like little children. They couldn't be more than 3 feet tall. Um, they weren't anything to write home about.
Like that tall on me.
Yeah, they're 2 feet shorter than you, Tally. Yeah, they were like little kids. So it's very interesting in this particular universe. Monsters don't have names for the most part. They're just, this is the elder of the goblin village. He doesn't really have a name. He's just the elder. Then there's the elder's son or something like that. They had a goblin who had been named, who was a hero of some kind for them, but he didn't. He had died in the first attacks that the dire wolves had made. So Mr. Slime's like, yeah, why the fuck not? I'll name you. So he names all 60 of the goblins. He's like, that doesn't mean anything to me. Why shouldn't you guys have names? You're important to me. I'll give you names. Fine, whatever. It doesn't mean anything. What he didn't realize is that giving them a name inscribes that name on their soul and makes them like essentially a boss monster of a type. They're a unique monster now. They're not just a plain goblin anymore. So they're
no longer a minion. They are now
exactly.
boss.
So it wasn't until he got through the goblins and he's like, wow, I feel a little tired for some reason. All right, but whatever. And he goes to start naming the dire wolves. So the first one comes up and he names it after his Ranga is what he names him, which means like Thunder Wolf or something like that. Because he names it after the name that he exchanged. Because they exchanged, the dragon gave him a name, Rimuru, and he gave the dragon another name, which is Tempest. So Veldora Tempest was the dragon, and then he named him Rimuru Tempest, basically connecting them as not only as friends, but basically their family now. They're related now because they share the same name. This all sounds very much like a book I read a couple years ago where the guy gets stuck in a virtual RPG. Very much so. It has that kind of feel to it. I've seen some of the ones that are like virtual RPG mangas and animes
Overlord.
and stuff. Yeah, like Overlord. So he names the wolf, but then he just like runs out of magical energy and passes out. Sleeps for 3 days. Wakes up and everyone's bigger. The goblins, the wolves, everybody is just bigger. And it's because when he named them, they evolved. They grew. So the male goblins became hobgoblins, the female goblins became goblinas, and they're all like a full adult size, like 5 and 6 feet tall now. They look like fully grown adults with green skin. Look more like what we would consider like an orc in modern fantasy. And it's very it was implied the dragon named the slime to give him a chance of breaking his prison when the slime gets strong enough. Yeah, no, fair enough. That's the entire point. It's because they became friends, and the slime does want to help him get out. He's like, yeah. And as far as I can tell, the dragon isn't actually evil because I'm pretty sure it was bad people who put him there. You know, I don't think the dragon is evil.
This does sound some like an interesting anime.
Yeah, it is a very interesting anime. I didn't get through very far in it, but it's just like every time they turn around, somebody was doing some crazy shit. And the slime was there to be like, all right, I'm going to kick your ass. And he's like, but you're a slime, though. Wait, you can talk? And he's like, yeah, I can talk. It's fine. I'm going to kick your ass. And it's just like, what? And the further he goes along, the more powers he's acquiring, the more abilities he's acquiring. I recently, the episode I saw before I knocked off for the night last night because I was passing out in my chair, sitting here watching the show with them. He had just acquired the ability to combine abilities. So he could take like, what was it? He had an ability called Black Lightning, and they had the ability to make flames. Well, he combined them together to make black flames, which were way more powerful and, you know, cause more damage and stuff like that. Then he had like the sticky webs that he could use because of the spider he killed in the caves, you know, all that kind of stuff. But it was really interesting, the anime that I thoroughly enjoyed. I want to go back and watch the rest of it.
I'm definitely gonna have to give that a watch.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely good. I've kind of rambled on for like 15, 20 minutes here. But you all seemed interested, so I don't know.
It does sound interesting.
Yeah.
So I ordered something not that long ago.
I know what you're gonna show.
It's
'Cause
a
I'm the one who sent you the
ride.
link.
Yeah. There's a company here in the UK. I think they're like brand new. They're called Political Confectionaries. And that and I ordered this. Hang on, I've got to turn the light off so you can actually see it. It's Brexit biscuits. There's Angela Merkel. There's Boris Johnson. There's
Yep.
Theresa May.
Yep.
Boris Johnson and Theresa May are babies.
British freedom snacks. Well, not necessarily, because I don't think, as far as I can tell, it just kind of makes fun of everyone involved, be they,
Yeah,
pro,
pretty
for or against
much.
Brexit.
It pretty much is taking the piss out of everyone.
Yeah.
It's taking the piss out of both sides.
Hi, Kefki. There's a Kefki in
So
chat.
it is quite amusing. But then the biscuits, they actually look like that.
Right.
Where one side's the Union Jack and the other side's the European Union stars.
Mm-hmm.
They're very buttery. They're yummy.
If Kefki's here, then that means we can call to order the meeting of the Weird Waifus Club. You know,
She's not a weird waifu. She's a forbidden lolly.
Where we sexualize things like Nemesis. That club.
Hey, you leave her love of her husbando alone before I beat you up.
It puts
Yeah, right.
it puts the ooh on the skin, or else it gets the tentacle again.
Mm-hmm. Jesus, when I was playing that the other night, there's that goddamn tentacle was the thing I hated the most. Just he would just go, "Oh, you're running away." Lasso you with a tentacle, and I'm like, "No, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that."
That hentai already exists. We don't need to make it now.
Like, there's so many of those hentais. Like,
Oh
and
yeah.
I don't know why.
Naneka
Why
took
is
15
that
minutes to get water. What the hell? You just didn't want to listen to my story, Naneka.
Wait, what
Yeah,
list?
Nika.
She said 15 minutes ago, "Okay, I'm going to get some water, be right back." And then right after I finished the story, she's like, "Okay, I'm back." Rude.
She muted until she saw that you'd stopped talking.
She said, "LMFAO, I'll make my list later for you." Like, what list though? What am I?
Hentai.
Yeah, Race.
Is she still wanting to resurrect the bad porn comedy hour? Is that what she's trying to pull here?
See, the thing that gets me is it wasn't Nemesis that was my issue that with the one, because Nemesis just used the tentacle to lasso you. And like grab you around the ankles, knock you down, and then he comes walking up to you while you're laying on the ground trying to recover. The thing that got me was the damn spiders. Because those little motherfuckers.
Because we all know Eve doesn't like the bugs.
They jump on your face. No, it's not even about the like the bugs. They jump on your face and stick their little spider dicks down your throat and inject parasites into your body. I need to. He's got a look right now like, what the fuck? Yeah. Not like actually they're dicks, but they stick tentacles down your throat and inject parasites into your body that eat you from within. The only way to get them out is to eat a green herb, and then your character literally stops. Jill literally stops and throws up.
The magic rape spiders.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they had to kick it up a notch. They took poison out of the game, so they took away the blue herbs, and now they've added these spiders so that they can add some kind of poison-like effect into the game.
And now you got to actually
No.
think about your green herbs a little more carefully because of that.
Thankfully, though,
Yeah,
for regular heals, you have first aid sprays.
before you could just get green herbs and then you just combine it with another green herb or combine it with a red herb and it was just healing. Whereas now you've actually got to conserve them for that.
Ryan
Great.
says, so Nemesis is Joe Biden. Oof.
Oh, oh boy.
Naneka says it's so cute. What is cute? Deep throating spiders?
No.
The sequel to Deep Throat that no one wanted.
Naneka says only if you don't get to pick the porns race. She doesn't want to do your porn. Thankfully, they only show up for the one. Oh, that's it. That's for them for the rest of the game. Fuck yes. So I don't have to worry about them for the rest of the game. I'm a little disappointed because I know I'm running up on the end of the game. Like, I think I'm in the last third. I'm probably about either halfway to 2/3 of the way done. And that's disappointing because I've already spent like 4 hours on the game.
The Resident Evil games were never very long.
Yeah, but this one they've trimmed down particularly so. So it's a lot shorter than even the original one was. So it's a little disappointing. I don't know. Mostly, I guess, because they focus so much on adding the Project Resistance, the multiplayer one, to it, which is fun, but it's like at the expense of the main story. I don't know if that was such a good idea.
It really annoys me that games have given up on like making like a campaign with a storyline in exchange for PvP.
Well, see, that's the thing, is that the remake of Resident Evil 2 was fantastic. I had no complaints about that. As a matter of fact, I thought it did a wonderful job. And I was really excited about 3 because of expecting the same kind of quality that I got from 2, along with having Nemesis instead of Mr. X chasing you around. Like, Nemesis could show up at any time, burst through a wall, jump off the top of a building and just land next to you, and it's like, okay. The majority of the game was already developed from RE2 Remake. See, that's the thing, is that it's not like they had to do, a whole hell of a lot of work anyway, and they still couldn't even give us a full game. And that really...
Well, no, because they sacrificed a lot of the story for PvP.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do nowadays. Sacrifice most of the gameplay for PvP. And it annoys me.
If you're gonna
monetize that.
What if I don't want to play PvP? What if I just want to play a regular game?
And like I says, BioWare's still doing good on that end. Yeah, they give you a story-based game, but they water it down with SJW bullshit, and that's a little... Maybe that's not quite as... I'm being a little too exaggerating there. It's not all SJW bullshit, but it's like they go out of their way to make it so bland and so not... I don't know. It just like they don't want to offend somebody, so they make it more politically correct, I guess. So I guess that's what I was trying to get.
If you try and water down games so that no one's offended, you're gonna end up offending someone anyway. So there's no point. Someone is always going to be offended and not like what you're doing.
I think they were just shocked how popular the RE2 remake was, so they just rushed it out to capitalize on the success. Yeah. And that's unfortunate. I would have rather them taken another year to work on the RE3 remake, or even another 6 months, year, even if it took 2 years to get it out, just to make sure that it was done right. Like, graphically, it's beautiful. Gameplay-wise, it plays smooth. I just feel like there could have been more to it.
Somebody saying about a year ago, something about if they were to release RE3 today because of how it was back then, it would be considered more of a DLC anyway, because of how short it was and how it was basically just set with it uses all the same assets anyway.
See, now Stuff like that is the reason I like open world games like the Arkham Knight and well, the Arkham series. It's because like if you don't want to do the main story, you can go off and do like side stories.
Yeah,
And there's so many side stories, and then
there's
when
still
you're done
stuff to
with the
do.
main game, yeah, and then you can go and do the main story, and then when you're done with that, there's also DLC.
It's one of the things I'm looking
Where
a
you,
lot forward to is Cyberpunk 2077. Cannot wait to get my hands on that.
I mean, I'd really appreciate the Assassin's Creed games if the gameplay was better.
Yeah,
Although I think my problem with Assassin's Creed's gameplay is the fact that I was playing it on the Xbox.
I think the biggest problem with Assassin's Creed is that there's not enough assassinating going on because yeah,
Mm.
it's not really as that they don't really often play like stealth games anymore. It was like that for the first two games at best, and then just quickly just went off the rails.
I would say all of
I did
Ezio's trilogy was like that.
I did like Black Flag about how it was Assassin's Creed, but then you were a pirate, so you sailed
I think
ships.
yeah, they were capitalizing on the success of Pirates of the Caribbean. This is what was happening there.
Yeah, but
Yet that
that
was
was pretty
probably their
good.
most popular entry because it was just so good. Like it received so much
Yeah,
praise.
and then after they did that, they then did Rogue, and they tried to do capitalize on the whole it's Assassin's Creed, but you're sailing ships again, but it didn't work as well.
They were trying to tell a different story with that one.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to tell a different story, but they were trying to use the same mechanics, and they were trying to capitalize on how popular Black Flag was.
Um,
But I really liked some of the DLC for Black Flag. Like I liked with Black Flag, you played as the Black First Mate, and instead of doing the
well,
whole
yeah,
pirate thing, you were freeing the slaves.
which is interesting.
And well, yeah. I mean, there's a right way and the wrong way to do politics and stuff like that in your games. And the way Black Flag did that DLC was the right way to do it. Because it was a good story about this guy that was trying to help his people because they were captured as slaves and he was trying to save them from that. There's a right way of doing it rather than having a regular story in today's era and ham fisting in slavery bad.
Um,
Like they showed you the reasons why slavery was bad and it was in the context of the time.
it's like, hey, this guy's an asshole. Let's free this person from him that he's enslaved.
Yeah.
Nobody could feel nobody could feel any type of way about it.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
that's
but
the thing about
again, it was showing how slavery is a bad thing without it being forced.
Yeah, like Mustafa just said, it didn't feel the need to tell you why slavery was bad.
it just showed you,
Well, it
and
would
which is
show
what
like
that's just good
slaves trying
storytelling.
to run away from their masters, getting captured and having the shit beaten out of them. And then you could make a choice to either help the slaves that were having the shit beaten out of them, or you could walk away.
Mm-hmm. Nenica
And
says,
it was
sorry.
it was a really good story. I really appreciated that DLC.
Nenica said, you just want the customizable genitals, Eve. I will neither confirm nor deny that I will have a separate save file that I play by myself and don't stream, where I will
If they
totally
don't,
explore every inch of that not safe for work content.
If they don't have like the mechanical tentacles deal going on, I'm gonna be disappointed. Negative
I'll
2
settle
out of
for
10.
I'll settle for an 8-foot dick and other things.
You
There
know
might be
what?
claws
If
attached
you're,
to the side to just latch on so a bitch can't get away.
you know what? If you're gonna like have a separate account where you're going to explore that, you might have to like just stream it on Discord with a like where we could like people can join and just laugh at this shit.
Stream it to your OnlyFans.
Like just on the Discord, not streaming it anywhere. Just oh come on, you know you want to.
Oh well, you can, from what I heard, add implant parts to it if you want to see if you can't race. Yeah, you apparently can add things. I'll make a big-titted goth girl to run through the game with. The thing that they got really upset about the controversy of it was like they took out genders and sex and stuff. It's like it was less that they took those things out and just made the system less rigid so you could just make whatever you wanted. So I get what they're talking about. It's like they took it out, but in a future where you can literally alter genetic code, things become a lot more murky.
There's gonna be
Well,
mods
in a
for people.
world where at the moment we are in a world of black and white. There are men and there are women. Yes, you do get like people that are intersex, but that's a birth defect.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a separate gender of itself. It's black and white. There's a man and there's a woman. Like, yeah, you can transition, but your chromosomes are always going to be man, woman.
Mm-hmm.
With a cyberpunk, because you're able to actually edit your genetic code, it goes from that black and white to everything's just grey. There's
Wait,
just different
does that
shades of
mean,
grey.
does that mean in this game we're gonna have fucking Elon Musk cat waifus?
Fucking better. The original creator wanted to show that sex sells in all forms, how in the tabletop he tried to show. I can't disagree with that. Mustafa says, if I can't turn my schlong into a weapon, fuck the whole experience. It's like how they accused him of being racist, and he's like, excuse the fuck out of you. I'm a black motherfucking man.
There's gonna be mods where people are just gonna make
Wait,
models of
wait.
fucking dragon dildos.
Tally,
They're
hang
gonna
on.
slap those.
Nobody caught
Who
any
was
of
the
that.
black-
Tally, nobody caught any of that because you guys started talking at the same time. What did you
Sorry.
say, Race?
They're gonna make. There's gonna be mods of this game where people are just gonna scan or model bad dragon dildos, and they're just gonna slap that shit right on there.
Mm-hmm. Now, what did you
Hang
say?
on, I'm trying to figure out. Like, wait, who was called racist?
The creator of the game.
A black man was accused of being a racist.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Welcome to the Twitterverse, where nothing makes sense.
Well, black
and
people can't be
everything-
racist.
Well, racism is the hatred of another person based solely on
No.
race.
That's the thing, is that the same people who will make the argument that the argument that black people can't be racist are the same people that are sitting here telling this man he's racist. Tally looks like very incredulous right now, and her brain can't handle the stupidity.
Well, there's you know what? I take it back. There are 3 genders: men, women, and retarded. And the people that are calling that black man racist for thinking that black people can be more than just black people, that they would fall under retarded.
They don't. Yeah, and these guys, the men who identify as retarded, they don't have a head on the penis. They have just they'd have a head, but it's not the head you're thinking of. It's the head of a Karen just looking at you with that fucking haircut, being like, "No, you're not allowed to do that."
Oh
Imagine
my
that-
god! Oh
that
my god! SJWs are just Karens.
Well, that's why they get so upset when you call women Karens, because it's like it's a sexist thing.
It's like, well, if you don't want to be called a Karen,
Stop acting
don't
like a
act
Karen.
like a Karen.
Somebody needs to draw that, by the way. Somebody needs to draw a male feminist with the fucking exposed smile or whatever that fucking thing, and then they have the hard on, and at the tip of the hard on is just the head of a Karen with the blonde fucking weird haircut and everything. I will commission that.
Why?
Naneka says, Tally, if you were asking if the Cyberpunk creator is a black man who was accused of being racist because of how some of the black people in his art looked.
Like the guy with the black guy with the machine gun arm. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's like
The Gatling gun arm. That was amazing.
Apparently now it's racist to make black people look cool.
Mm-hmm. I think we had this conversation last week. We were talking about
we did. We
Barrett
did.
from Bottom Edge 7.
Yeah, we did actually have this
I was
conversation.
like, why does this sound
Saturday.
familiar? Cara says, don't
because...
tempt me. Please do not tempt me. Uh-oh. What are we tempting you with?
Oh. Do it.
Calling everyone Karen.
Hey, Hikaru. Do it.
BG says, Voodoo Boys. They're a gang used voodoo theme to scare the shit out of others. In the new game, they actually adopted the religion.
Well, voodoo was a big thing in New Orleans, and it is something that was practiced mostly by pretty much completely by the black people of New Orleans. It was something that the slaves brought over from Africa. It was part of their African religion, and it just kind of evolved from there.
Even funnier thing about the Voodoo Boys fiasco was people immediately thought they were a hostile gang all because of their name. I take some serious umbrage with that notice. Yeah, no. Actual, voodoo practitioners are not hostile people. As a matter of fact, they're much like Wiccans in the fact that they're like, okay, we don't fuck with people and shit. Hang on. Let me finish my sentence. We don't fuck with people and shit with our religion, our powers, and things like that. That we don't use it to fuck with people. If you're doing that, you're not in our group. You're something else. You're taking things that were meant for good and using them to harm people, and just we don't condone that.
Well, a lot of the voodoo stuff, it came from the African slaves bringing parts of their religion over when they came over in slave ships. And then voodoo came up because they were mixing together this African religion, these different African religions with Christianity. And it kind of merged and grew from that.
In order to blend it in better.
South Korea, something similar to that as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know enough about Santeria. I won't comment on it.
Centuria, I'm pretty sure that was a Spanish thing.
Yeah. So it's funny how a lot of voodoo practitioners and stuff will actually go to church with alongside the Christians because
really famous the voodoo queen of New Orleans. What was her name?
I'm drawing a blank.
Marie Laveau?
Marie
Something
Laveau?
like that?
Marie Laveau?
I'm pretty sure it was Marie Laveau. Yeah.
Yep. Marie Laveau. First result on Koru.
Now you're getting into territory where I don't know.
Yeah, she was the voodoo queen of New Orleans. She was actually in New Orleans at the same time as that Madame Delphine, I think her name was. And back when you could have slaves, but there were rules against mistreating slaves. Whereas Madame Delphine, she would brutally torture her slaves in the most abhorrent ways. And it was only discovered what she was doing when her house burnt down, and they found a locked room when they were trying to get people out of this house. And in this locked room, there were people that had they'd been cut open and left to die, and they were strung up in all kinds of weird positions that the body just can't handle for long periods of time. And she did truly abhorrent things, to the point where people actually chased her out of New Orleans at the because if she didn't leave, her and her family were gonna be beaten to death. And from there, she just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Sounds like
So,
Ursula Bathory. A little bit. Except for Bathory was killed, but...
No, Bathory was imprisoned.
Yeah, she was locked up in a tower.
Yeah, the reason is she was imprisoned rather than, like, she never actually went to court. Her servants did, however. The servants that helped her were convicted. She, however, wasn't, because if she was convicted in a court of law,
She's a noble.
all of her property would have gone to the church or the king, and her family didn't want to lose that property. So in order to prevent it from, they imprisoned her, and then they kind of split her property up amongst themselves.
Of course they did.
Now, based on the fact that her family was so wanted, she was wealthier than the king. In fact, the king actually owed her a stupid amount of money. And based on that,
That's
and
why
the
they
fact
kind
that
of turned a blind eye to what she was doing, too.
Well, no, because the king would have been like, yeah, convict her, because I want because he would have gotten her property and he wouldn't have to pay back that debt. Now, based on like all of this sort of thing about the family wanting her stuff and all of that sort of thing, I don't think she really did do this sorts of things. Like, one of the torture implements that was being used wasn't actually a torture implement. It was something that was used to it was a piece of metal, like, with a flat head, and what you would do is you would heat it up on a fire, and then you would press it into a wound to cauterize the wound. And this was apparently one of those torture devices. It's a medical implement.
Right.
So, and she had like journals on like medical stuff and all that sort of thing. So she wasn't actually torturing people. She was trying to heal them, and they were dying. There was no physical evidence that she had killed as many people. Yeah. There's no evidence that she's actually done any of this stuff.
It sounds a lot like
Apparently she murdered 600 girls, but there's never, like, they've actually renovated a lot, like, and cultivated and moved a lot of the soil and all that sort of thing, like on archaeological digs around the area. They've never found any of these bodies.
This starting to sound like one of those arguments along the lines of Charles Manson was a good boy who didn't do nothing. I think that this kind of sounds like that.
Well, like I said, there's no evidence that she has done anything wrong. Like I said, they have done archaeological digs around her castle, and like a lot of the area where she lived. None of these 600 girls have been found. None of these bodies have turned up. If she killed 600 teenage girls, there would have been a ridiculous number of like people in mass graves.
You got to think though that numbers are probably inflated, because stories like this often grow in the telling. You know.
Well, of course they do, but again, there's no evidence that she's actually done anything. You've got to remember that at the time, as soon as a wealthy man dies and his widow is left on her own, it's very like, family would move in to try and take what is hers. You've got to remember, this was like the 13th century, if not earlier. So
Back on the subject of voodoo, BG says voodoo isn't necessarily incompatible with Christianity. Loa are spirits. They ask for help from kind of like early Christian mysticism, asking for saints and angels help. No, that's actually the reason why they integrated so well, is that when they came over and found those similarities, they're like, well, I guess we could just do it like this, and instead of like praying to Saint Peter, we're totally praying to Saint Peter and praying to one of the Loa instead. They just, because
well,
there's so many
they
similarities between the two religions, it's
well, the
it's a
thing
little
with
eerie. So they
voodoo
it's why they integrated so
is
well, and why the voodoo practitioners were able to hide it so well and still survive to this day, and still
well,
practicing
also
the
a
way they
big
do
thing
as
in
Christianity.
voodoo isn't just like the saints; it's calling upon your ancestors.
Right.
It's the whole idea that your ancestors watch over you,
Well,
and
there are
so
other spirits
you
and stuff like the Loa.
use, yeah, yeah. Uh, the whole voodoo song from the Frog Princess and all that sort of thing. I've got friends on the other side. Well, the voodoo people, they really do believe they've got friends on the other side, and it is just their ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, anyway, so Madame Delphine, uh, a lot of people think that she really was like killed rather than just being run out, like she ran off to France, because she just disappeared off the face of the earth, and people were gunning for her head because of the terrible things she was doing when it was discovered. So it's possible that they caught her, tortured and killed her, threw her body in the Mississippi River. Is it the Mississippi River that runs through New Orleans?
I'm pretty sure.
That, yeah. And then just went, yeah, she ran off to France.
It's always possible.
Yeah. Because like if you actually trace where she went, she got in a carriage, she ran off, but she just completely disappeared. Now it's possible that she did change her name so that she could hide out.
It's like, okay, note to self: in the new place, don't beat your slaves to death.
Well, let's
Let's
face
learn.
it, she was a truly evil person. She would have continued doing it.
Be more careful so you don't get caught beating your slaves to death.
Well, she was caught because her house burned down.
Mm-hmm.
In saying that, people knew she was doing awful things. I mean, one of her slave girls threw herself off the roof because it was better to throw herself off the roof and die from the impact of hitting the ground than it was to be caught by her.
Jeez.
Suicide was preferable to her getting her, to Madame Delphine
Getting caught
getting
trying
her
to
hands
escape.
on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
Well, she had nowhere to go anyway. She was on the roof. She had no physical way of getting out anyway.
Yeah.
But they actually had to break the door down to, like, because when the fire started, she got in the carriage and disappeared and took the key with her to that locked room.
Jesus.
So they actually had to break the door down. None of them survived.
Or be like Scribe Light and make your slaves beg for those beans. I will not get into that on this particular episode.
Well, we're talking about a different kind of slave here, darling.
The non-consensual
Would this
kind.
be no, this would be the consensual kind. Would this be a bad time to do this? Tally's not
Hang on,
even
what?
looking. Tally's not even looking.
Move it further the other direction.
No, on the screen that y'all are seeing, it looks like it is for mine, so you need to go to the other side, Tally. Other side.
Do I
Everything's
need-
reversed.
Other side. There you go. Do, 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 do. Mustafa says,
Yay.
whoa. But yeah, kids. So we are running up on our 1 hour and 10 minute mark. We just hit 1 hour and 10 minutes. Questions, queries, things that you would like us to, address. Why does Race's beard go that way? Why is Tally's tits always hanging out? Why does Eve
They're
always
not
look
hanging
so
out.
sexy? Like,
They're not hanging out. What are you talking about? Well, we could always talk about the symbolism in Poe's Mask of Red Death.
sure. I don't know anything about it, but sure.
Well, in the short story, there are 7 rooms, and these 7 rooms are 7 different colors, and they are arranged from east to west. And the symbolism is each room is a different color, and each color symbolizes a different stage in human's life.
Why doesn't Eve show as much as Tally? I mean, it'll make you fuckers happy. Here. I'll undo another button. There you go.
Like the 7 rooms are blue, purple, green, orange, white, violet, and black and scarlet. And each of these different colors
Just leave my bra in.
symbolize blue is birth, purple is youth, green is adolescence, orange is adulthood, white is old age, violet is imminent death, and black and scarlet was death itself.
Mustafa says hashtag ain't no fun if the eyeliner don't run.
I mean, I definitely know someone who that's their kink. I won't say names, but yeah, I definitely know someone who that's their kink because they like their partner's eyeliner to run. So.
Fuck her face so hard that mascara runs down her face.
In a word, yeah. But no, that was actually very interesting, Tally. I wasn't meaning to cut you off or change the subject or anything, but
No, that's fine.
Yeah. Annika says, I mean, why not? Ah, sorry.
I really do appreciate the symbolism that's in a lot of these gothic writers' writings.
But you, Race,
Yeah.
do you have anything?
I'm just gonna say in a couple of seconds they're gonna hear that crack in Scotland.
Yeah. My neck cracks echo across the ocean. So. Look. Never mind. I was gonna say something. Never mind.
I'm not in Scotland, Race.
Close
Yes,
enough.
but you don't need to hear it across the ocean. You're right here in a voice call with me.
This is true.
So you can just hear it. Nanika says,
This
I
is
will crack
very
you.
true.
You can try. I'm difficult to crack when I've already popped my neck. I don't know. I've kind of like, I thought I had something earlier and I totally forgot to pull it up.
Well, depending on how everyone felt about me and Eve reading those very amusing DMs I got, I have another one if people would be interested in that one. It's not as long, but I have got another one.
Guess what I forgot to do again, Tally?
What did you
What?
forget to do?
Tweet out the stream. Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so if everyone would like us to do another one of those, we can do it. It depends on whether or not people want to see another one.
Yeah, no, I mean the you talking about your creepy DMs that Tally gets on an occasion.
Yeah, I got another one a couple of days ago.
Yeah, we could do more of that.
No, when I get them now, I don't just block these people straight away, because it's amusing to read them out on stream.
Tally's Charm School, teaching you what not to do.
You forgot to pull
Press 1
something.
if you want.
You forgot to pull something up. How does it feel to be an official YouTube streamer? No, I meant to actually just like leave it open on a tab or something, and I just totally forgot to do so.
Yeah.
I think I clicked on something else, and
Oh, it's fine.
yeah.
It's fine. I mean, this time I didn't get called a sweet cake.
A what? Fuck.
You'll have to watch this. You'll have to watch that stream, because me and Eve, we read out DMs I got from this random guy on Discord, and it was hilarious. And he goes to me, "No, you are my sweet cake."
Was he 10 by chance?
I think he was like 15. But I got another one. Yeah. Eve, I'll show you it after the stream. It's so funny.
Think you did? I don't remember. But
I'm
anyhow.
pretty sure I showed you part of it.
Mm-hmm. It was a joke about how you guys keep messing up. Basically, if you aren't screwed, you aren't screwed up. You aren't an official streamer. That's true. That's very true.
What we need to do is we need to make a checklist of everything we need to make sure is set up before we stream. It's like
God.
OBS, guest, this, that, tweet it.
God damn, Mustafa.
Mr. Hopper said, but did he call you a, and I quote, big pussy MILF again?
No, I blocked him after that.
No, who that's what we should call it, Ray's Tally's Charm School. See how charming some of these motherfuckers who DM her. I don't get these DMs. I'm in some of these same like not safe for work servers or whatever. Nobody ever bothers me. I don't know why.
That's because you've got your name. Don't DM me or I will block you.
No, I did that in one server. And that was just like people were.
No, it's just that one server. It's the one server where you've got the name. Don't DM me and I'll block you.
Wait, really?
Don't at me, I'll block you. Yeah, they're all from that one server.
Hold on. I didn't even know you were in this server.
I keep hearing that thing over and over in my head again, big pussy MILF, and I can't think of anything but crazy bitches on eFuck shoving like watermelons and whatever the fuck else up their cooch. Because apparently that's a thing.
It's not that server.
It's not that server. I was about to say.
Yeah, it's not that server.
Okay. I hope none of y'all saw that. There was porn on my screen for a second.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, no, it is a bad thing if it's on YouTube, so...
Oh.
Yeah, that's my problem. I don't care.
I thought you said you were seeing it. I thought not sharing it.
Oh, no, I don't care if you guys see it. I'll share it, but that's for Discord after the fact, not during the stream. So... Tally, you're muted.
What?
Oh, never mind. You were speaking, you was lighting up, but I couldn't hear you. Never mind. We can hear you now.
No, I was just moving.
Yeah, you need to get noise suppressor. Factor noise suppressor.
Yeah, so for Tally's Charm School, I have started not just randomly blocking people. when they start sending me messages, and the reason is so
To get some kind of
I can,
entertaining conversation out of them.
yeah. The reason is so I can use them for Tally's Charm School.
I think that's a wonderful reason.
Just be sure to not screen capture the disappointing dick pics.
Wait, there was something I was going to bring up. What was it? There it is.
Uh-oh.
What?
Okay, so I'm finna screen share with y'all.
Oh no.
Okay.
Apparently it's got to be seen to be believed.
All right, so kids.
Alyssa
Oh,
Milano.
this fucking thing. Yeah.
She's a fucking idiot.
I saw it a couple hours ago. Somebody retweeted it.
Now, everyone
Can-
needs to
Just,
look at
just
this
see what the
picture and
audience
tell us
figures
what
out
is
what's
wrong.
wrong with this picture. Like let's
What
just
is
click on it.
wrong with this image?
Look at this.
Nothing is wrong because it's a perfect solution to the problem.
Mm-hmm. Like,
yes,
her family is fine. What's wrong with what she's got going on here?
Stop talking. You will give it away. Just
They'll catch on. I'm pretty sure most of our audience is smart enough to have caught on real fucking quick.
What is wrong with this image? Just click on the image so you can enlarge it.
It's as big as it'll get.
This is the final solution. This is the answer to the Milano question.
Yeah, it really is. No, I don't know about you, but I just, I'm done.
Like, let's see if who can
Oh, wrong button.
Well, yes, Pat, she is dying for attention, but what is wrong with this image right here?
Let's see if anybody's guessed. They're going to be motherless soon, says Naneka. Maybe. She's dying for attention. Twit 1, Pearl 2. I am not a clever man. Yeah, no. Hikaru hit it on the nail. Her mask was crocheted. I just, do I need to put it back up? Because it looks like half the chat's going, wait, what?
Yeah, you
Here,
might need to put it back
let me
up.
screen share it back up. Dude. Her mask is crocheted there, kids. I just want you all to be aware of that. This broad is going around wearing a crochet. She's got to be trolling. She's got to be just trolling with this.
Like, there is... That mask is giving her zero protection.
Yeah.
It's like trying to put a crochet condom on your dick. It's like, it's not helping anything.
I mean, it might look pretty, but it's not really helping.
I just... It says, okay, so somebody over here goes, okay, so chain link fence, someone throwing tennis balls covered in ants at your house. A chain link fence can't stop the ants, but it can stop the tennis balls and the ants land on the property line instead of in your house. Masks stop the droplets that carry the virus. That's not how that works.
That mask doesn't. So, assassin. Oh.
What did he say? I can't see chat right now.
Kill count equals Alana's uterus 2. Average gun owner's firearms 0.
He's not even wrong. He's not wrong.
They showed me this earlier, and now I'm leaning towards the edge of this everything that Milano's done up to this point that we bitch about. It's just been one big long Andy Kaufman like act, and she's never been serious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
The
Kids
level
call it
of
a code.
The level of stupidity.
And
it
BG
hurts
BG even
me.
points out the thing is, unless they're N95s, they don't really help you. Masks are to help everyone else from you passing on to others, and even then, nothing is foolproof. Yeah. So unless you've got like a legit, like one of the masks that A, seals around your face, and B, has a vent on it to filter those things out, you're not getting any benefit out of it. You know, despite the fact
Like
they've told everybody
the
to wear
theme,
masks.
but with a filter in it. Like
No, not even
if
that.
I
Not
was to
even
get
that. Not even that
well,
hefty.
see, if I was to put a filter in this thing, which I can put a filter in this thing, there is a place where I can put filters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this thing, if I had the virus and I went out wearing this thing with a filter in it, it would protect other people if I was to start coughing up the virus everywhere.
You're misunderstanding what we're saying here. To protect yourself, you need one with a filter. To protect others, all you need is something covering your mouth when you cough. You get what I'm saying?
Oh,
So,
right, yeah.
something like, where is it? Something like this. If you're sick and you're trying to prevent others from getting infected, this will do fine because it covers your mouth, it covers your nose, and prevents other people from getting, keeps the droplets from going any further than this, keeps any of the spray, anything like that. However, if you're trying to protect yourself, this does jack diddly. It'll stop some of it. I would say it raises your chances of not getting infected, but it raises the chances of not getting infected by such a minuscule amount. It doesn't really help.
It is still better than nothing, technically.
Yeah, and it makes, I think a reason that the CDC even started telling people that is because it makes people feel safe. It makes them feel a little safer going out wearing masks and gloves rather than nothing and being told it doesn't work.
I saw a meme not that long ago of a guy at a grocery store, and the cashier was saying, "I'm sorry, sir, I can't sell anything to you unless you're wearing a mask." And his response was, "If I come back here wearing a mask, I'm not paying for shit."
Ah,
That's not okay.
And I found that amusing.
Anywho, kids, we are, I think we're at our, almost to our hour and a half mark. So,
Yeah, almost.
if anybody else has anything they would like to share, if you would like to see more of me, Race, and Tally, we're currently, I think we're talking about maybe change the time, but currently we're still on Wednesday nights at 6 Central, 7 Eastern, to be doing Golden Age Radio, which we do together. It is a... yeah, Race over here cheering. Which we do every Wednesday night. So we have guests, we have fun, we talk about things that are going on in the world that try to put a more positive spin on it and make people smile and make people laugh.
That bad.
Yeah, we actually just had a meeting about that earlier today, what we're going to do with it, the direction we're going to take the show in. Might be making a couple of tweaks here and there to try to make it more, feel more natural. Yeah, more amusing and feel more natural for all of us. And I think the three of us really came to a good conclusion and a good agreement about what it is we want to do with it. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Which is actually why I was just like, hey, Race, our guest that we were going to have on today wasn't able to make it. Do you want to be on? So take me with you. I'll take you with me, Naneka, but...
Want me to take you? Hang on, what? No.
And after the show, if anyone wants to come and join us in the SNN server, we will be hanging out there for a while until we go play D&D later tonight.
Yep, Tally and I will definitely be over there for another couple of hours at least. So
yeah,
we'll be over there hanging out. Everybody should come over there, hop in the Discord, voice chat with us, hang out, chill, have fun. If you aren't already in our Discord for some strange reason, there's a link in the description below. You can also find links to mine and Tally's Twitter. You can find links to my gaming channel, which I stream Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday nights. And you can also find a link to Golden Age Radio as well, where you'll find all three of us, as well as whoever guest we happen to have on that Wednesday night. So I think that's all of our shilling done, pretty much.
Yeah, sounds like everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, boys and girls, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. You could be doing anything with your time, but you choose to come over here and hang out with us, and we couldn't be more grateful. We have so much fun with you guys. We assume because you're still here, you're having fun with us. So, thank you to Race for being on with us today.
Thank you for having me.
It was nice. And that's gonna do it for us. Come see us in Discord, kids. Catch you next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Yay.
Lay back, relax, enjoy it all. Saturday night, it's time to say no more. S&M with Tally and KRC. Come pleasure or pain, welcome to the stream.